っていうのは起きないからもしもの話なのよ。もしそんなことに。
よし、確かに聞いたぞ。それでは行こうか、リン。君の学び屋まで30分。そろそろ出なければ間に合わない時間帯だ。
驚いた。もしもの。
ああ、私も驚いている。いや、何事もケチをつけておくものだ。
As soon as we pass through the school's main gate, we joke around like that. Around us, students, the classrooms, it's almost time for homeroom. In the crowd of people, school building. Just, I randomly saw something on my microphone and going, wait, what?
空気がよどんでるどころの話じゃない。これ、もう結界が張られてない。
完全にではないが、すでに準備は始まっているようだな。ここまで派手にやっているということは、よほどの。
とんでもない素人ね。異常を感じさせる結界なんて三流だもの。やるんなら仕掛ける時まで隠し通しておくのが一流よ。
で、君はどちらだと思う、リン？
さあ、一流だろうが三流だろうが知ったこと。私のテリトリーでこんなゲスなもの仕掛けたやつなんて問答無用でぶっ倒すだけよ。
Walking into the schoolyard, that's a magus. I'm not about to mince words, and I can't satisfied until I properly punish the creator for the gun field. I apologize for the smooth words. I have had a bit of alcohol. I am drinking water, and I have had food. Actually, I do have munchies with me, so we're good. I have a method to maybe not necessarily be sober, but I should be focused enough to do stuff. After second period, while walking back from the music room, I see the first year student walking unsteadily. The student's carrying some stacks of papers, and it looks like she's having trouble.
手伝うわ、さくら。
登坂先輩。
何、プリント？世界史って言ったらうちの担任じゃない。クズキのやつ、女生徒に使いをさせるなんて何か。いいっていいって。それじゃこれさくらのクラスまで？
久月先生のところです。誤字があったから回収するって言ってました。
納得。久月は融通きかないからね。一つ誤字があったぐらいで試験を中止させるやつだった。
試験って？
そう、あれは去年の中間試験だったかな。みんながガーッとマークシートを塗りつぶしてる時にやってきてね。誤字があるので正しい問題ではなかった。よって試験は中止。後日改めて行うってなんか
久月先生らしいですね。それ先生、物を教える立場に間違いは許されないって。
久月のは度が過ぎてるけどね。さくらもそのうち思い知るわよ。久月の堅物ぶりったら岩か山かって感じなんだから。
登坂先輩、久月先生のことが好きなんですね。先輩がそんな風に言うなんて。
そう？まあ確かに。
I think that, but I also think he's not bad this way. After school, he's a teacher liked by all students, and a teacher feared by all students. The balance between the two works so well that I think Kuzuki-sensei is a good disciplinarian. He's stick in the carrot and stick approach.
まあ2年になればもっと久月と顔を合わせるようになるわ。あいつは倫理も受け持ってるし。そんなことよりさくら、ちょっと聞きたいことがあるんだけどいい？
何です？
昨日の話なんだけど、さくらたまたま。それであれ何だったの？知り合い？
いいえ、それがよくわからない人だったんです。
Ah, so she ran away.
そっか、ごめんなさい。
いえ、構いません。ここまででいい。
そう？それじゃあまたね。
I pass the handouts back to Sakura. As I start to head back to my classroom, I
さ
pause.
くら、最近は
はい、大丈夫。元気です。
そう。シンジがまた何かやったら言いなさい。あいつはどってものを知らないから。
心配いりませんよ、先輩。兄さん、この頃は優しいんですから。
If she says that with such a smile, I can't say anything else. Bid her goodbye once more and turn to the familiar Judy. The day ends. Students leave the classroom and building gets darker by the second. The sun will set soon. When the red sun sets, night falls, there should be no one left at the school.
始めるわよ、あーちゃん。まずは結界の下調べ。どんな結界かを調べてから消すか残すか決めましょう。
I address my invisible partner. Archer must understand as I sense him nodding. A bounded field is something that protects its caster. You could call it a geographical magic, in which one knits a line of magic across a land to change the interior. Infinite different effects are possible within a bounded field. There are all sorts of bounded fields, from ones that conceal an area from people's eyes, to ones that limit the use of magic within. The most aggressive of these is that oppressive life form within. Bounded field later school is one of those kinds. It is not yet complete, but once it is, everyone in the school should fall unconscious. Something like this won't affect me, for all bounded field is something that targeted not at me, but the place I am in. Such an indirect magical energy intervention has no effect on the Magi, who have magical energy throughout their bodies. A weak current from the air will only be repelled by a strong current like myself. This bounded field has a different intention. I don't know what kind of person set up this bounded field, but his intention is not to defeat a master. Hard to believe, but his target is everyone in this school. Only one reason to do something like that. Unbelievably, this guy is... I searched the school building and emerged from the rooftop to finish. It's dark outside. It's 8 o'clock now, way past the school's closing time, which is 6. The only people still at school are me and Archer.
これで7つ目か。とりあえずここが起点みたいね。
An 8th stroke mark openly drawn on the rooftop. Purplish red color is only visible to Magi's eyes. I've never seen before, engraved in something unknown.
参ったな。これ私の手には負えない。
The person who set that up with bounded field didn't think about anything. He didn't think. The bounded field bound it with amazing skill. I can temporarily drain magical energy from this bounded field, but I cannot eliminate the bounded field itself. The bounded field can be reactivated just by having the caster put more magical energy into it again. Archer says nothing. He's been quiet ever since we came onto the rooftop, probably because he too recognizes the power of this bounded field. This bounded field doesn't just drain one's strength. Once activated, it literally dissolves all the people within it. There's a bounded field that drains physical and mental strength from people within them. But the bounded field later, this school, is completely different level. This is a soul eater. It is a blood fort that dissolves people within it and claims the soul that seeps out. Since ancient times, souls have been hard to handle. Even though they believe to exist a necessity for magic, only one magus has ever understood the soul. Souls are only things to be investigated or things to be moved into containers. It is unmanageable to merely suck them out, but also to collect them in a single place. It is because a magus has no use for them, even conventional energy. There is no reason. It must be...
あーちゃん、あなたたちってそういうもの？
I ask coldly.
ご推察の通りだ。我々は基本的に霊体だと言っただろう。故に食事は第二。君たちが肉を栄養とするように、サーバントは精神と魂を栄養とする。栄養を取ったところで基本的な能力は変わらないが、取り入れれば取り入れるほどタフになる。
Yes. To strengthen your servant, you must attack people indiscriminately.
マスターから提供される魔力だけじゃ足りないってこと？
足りなくはないが、大いに越したことはない。実力が劣る場合、弱点を武士で補うのが戦争だろう。周囲の人間からエネルギーを奪うのはマスターとしては基本的な戦略だ。 そういった意味で言えば
I'm just gonna quickly grab my phone, as I would like to keep track of information. Okay, sit down, chill. Got my phone in case I need access to the walkthrough, or information if people give me weird options. Archer is saying, I want to win. I should kill people and steal their energy. How simple. I already knew that. That's why I think I know which path I'm going to choose.
それ勘に触るわ。二度と口にしないで、アーチャー。
I say so while he's staring at the mark. For some reason, Archer sounds happy as he's confidently
同
answers.
感だ。私も真似をするつもりはない。
さて、それじゃ消そうか。無駄だろうけど、とりあえず邪魔をするぐらいにはなる。
I approach the mark and extend my left arm. The magic crest on my left arm is the Book of Magic, passed down through the Tozaka family. I switch on my sense. I push magical energy into my magic crest, read the part that explains the animation bounded fields, and now all I have to do is activate it. Eliminate. Surgical extraction. Second section. I touch the surface in my left hand, let my magical energy flow out. This will at least wash the color of this mark.
なんだよ、消しちまうのか？もったいねえ。
Suddenly, as if to stop the erasure of the bounded field, a voice echoes out. I quickly stand up and turn around. On the top of the water tower, in the sky 10 meters away, a guy is looking at me. Deep ultramarine that melts into the night. His grin is wild, we see a smile carries on the wind. The stare of the beast is a cold one. The man in blue looks at me like an old friend, even in this situation.
これ、あなたの仕業？
いや、小細工を浪するのは魔術師の役割だ。俺たちはただ命じられたまま戦うのみ。だろ？
Casual, but his voice is filled with murderous intent. This guy can see Archer.
やっぱり、サーバント。
そうとも。で、それがわかるお嬢ちゃんは、俺の敵ってことでいいのかな？
My spine freezes, a normal light tone of voice. It's colder than anything I've ever heard, scary enough to make me vomit. I can't tell how I should move or what my best course is. My reason, absolutely not to fight this man right here.
ほう、大したもんだ。何もわからねえようで要点は抑えてやがる。ああ、失敗したなこりゃ。面白がって声をかけるんじゃなかったぜ。
The man raises his arm. Happens in an instant. The arm, nothing until now. Now holds a red weapon, 2 meters long. I jump to the side without thinking. I can't spare time considering I jump at full force while on the rooftop. I just jump with full force to the side and smash the fence. A whirlwind brushes past my hair. Barely made it. He rushed me. Slashed the space I just occupied.
いい足してるな、お嬢ちゃん。
The blue whirlwind pursues me. There are no escapes. The fence is behind me to my side. No, I won't make it. My response is fast. I run the magic circles with my left arm, summon in single measure. Land to my body and adjust gravity. In that instant, my body is as light as feather. And I leap.
分かってる。任せて。
I jump over the fence, fall on from the rooftop. The wind and rain hits my body, 15 meters to the ground, 1.7 seconds until land. No, that's too slow. We'll catch up.
フォックス、ゴッドエス。アーチャー、着地任せた。
I let Archer take the impact. Start running as soon as my feet touch the ground. First, I have to change the location. To go somewhere where we can move around freely, not a small space like a rooftop. We have to move into a large field with no obstacles. Play archers in my strength. I'm running for the rooftop to go around in less than 7 seconds. More than 100 meters. My speed is fast. Most people would only see a blur. But that's...
いや、本気でいい足だ。ここで仕留めるのはいささかもったいなさすぎるか。
meaningless against a servant.
Archer!
At the moment I step back, Archer steps front, taking form. Cloudy night. And Archer's hand and a short sword reflect the weak moon.
へえ。
The man crooks his mouth.
いいね。そう来なくっちゃ。話が早いやつは嫌いじゃない。
A large whirlwind. That's the weapon swung at me on the rooftop. The blood-red crimson lance. I can mercilessly slaughter.
ランサーのサーバント。
いかにも、そういうあんたのサーバンって感じじゃねえな。何者だ、てめえ。
There's no sign of his previous casual demeanor. In response to the Lancer, full of Archer's intent, Archer remains silent. The distance between the two, about 5 meters. The weapon lances hands, but only about 2 meters. For the man with bestial smell, I feel like remaining 3 meters are meaningless.
まっとうな一騎打ちをするタイプじゃねえな、てめえは。ってことは、アーチャーか。
Archer doesn't respond to the sneering voice either. Confronting each other, strangely, are red and blue. The two counterfeit colored knights are already watching for the other's clinching blow.
いいぜ。好みじゃねえが、出会ったからにはやるだけだ。そら、獲物を出せよ。これでも礼はわきまえているからな。
Archer does not respond. There's nothing to say to an enemy must defeat. That steel is clear so. It makes me realize I'm being stupid. Archer is waiting for my word. I cannot
アーチャー、
take his back. Approaching.
手助けはしないわ。あなたの力。
Without a laugh, he grins into my words. The red knight clashes forward, twirling with gusts of wind. Short sword in hand, red launches.
バカな。
Meets him with blue spears thrust. The dashing Archer's raging wind responding. Pure head is a divine wind. The sword is swung. The swing deflects the thrust. Archer parries the thrust with high-speed lance with his long sword. The wooden red stuns. The enemy does not permit Archer's rush. The enemy doesn't let him get away within 2 meters. The range of his speed. For a long weapon, distance is always preferred. This Lancer has a weapon that's almost 2 meters long. Protect when the enemy comes into his range. Thrusting at an approaching enemy is easier than moving onto yourself. Even so, Lancer closes the distance himself and not allow Archer to move forward.
たわけ。旧兵風情が接近戦を挑んだな。
His temper is like a burning fire. Lancer closes each blow, no threat of stopping. The long weapon, it's suicidal to close in on to an enemy. Experience tactic with their long range to defeat an enemy in the battle. So his Lancer is just advantage. Check. Hello. He doesn't have a chance of winning,
嘘。
but that's just by the book. Lancer's lance has no vulnerabilities as it strikes for the throat, shoulders, forehead, and heart. Thrusts so fast that afterimages are blurred. Each strike of his lance repels, rebuffs, and pushes back Archer. Any one of his thrusts could be called a fatal final blow. But even as a bowman, Archer is a servant. An ordinary attack can be a final blow. Having repelled the lance aimed at his forehead, Archer to be superior with Lancer's lance. Based on its shape, you might think the attack of Lance is a thrust, but basic strength of Lance is in its swings. This is because a wide swing used at its long range does not allow the enemy to dodge, stepping back. Partial retreat does not allow escape, and an attempt to counterattack would only result in a slashed stomach. But simply going forward end up in a smashed rib and long shaft of the lance. Archer and Lancer are similarly built. On top of that, it's hard for Archer, with no heavy armor, to step into range and it's swung like a whirl. The thrusts are a different story. Letting fast thrusts turn to strike can be stiffingly scary, but as long as the attack target is a point, there are many ways to avoid it once you see it. as Archer did then, hitting the shaft, switching lens by redirecting slightly to create an opening. Must be his underestimated informant. Advantage. Long weapon is length and freedom of its range. Once Lancer discarded these advantages himself, his defeat is one and red stops. A nightmare. Reversing. Thrust is faster than previous one. Archer tries to parry the blow, but he gets flickered on with the weapon. There are no openings in his attack. No, not just that. The thrust increased in speed and power without limit, and it becomes the final blow, even for Serpents. We were the ones underestimating him. For that Serpent, for Lancer's weapon, there's no general rules about lances. Blue could even parry continuous attacks, without even space to breathe between them. Archer manages to retreat a bit and parries. As a result, the distance between them opens a little. The distance. Lancer uses that distance as a runaway to launch more powerful attacks. Raging continues the attack, only with repetition of that. But the blows themselves are godlike. 10 blows already. No, that's actually many more times than that. Heavy rain of left pours out at even more strength, trying to skewer Archer to death. Not fast, but it's just skill. It thrusts like a waterfall, no change in speed. What can Archer do, as he is now, on the defensive? With such a short sword, he can only parry the lance. There's no way to close in on Archer, and Lancer continues to retreat. Vacuum of steel unfolds. Support. I drag Archer up. My throat won't respond. Magic has poor aim. Once Archer gets far away from Lancer, I will hit him with my magic as well. This is an opening only increase Lancer's advantage. And besides, frankly, I'm captivated. This is a battle between servants. This is the Holy Grail War itself, where we use heroic spirits, the highest rank of familiar, whom we would never otherwise obtain. Servants. Familiars of different classes that obey 7 masters. These are the highest ranks in familiars called heroic spirits, that are the Holy Grail summons. So it's misleading to call them familiars. Originally, familiars were just beings that ran errands for servants. Imagine perhaps a cat in boots, or a cute white bird, or a black dog that doesn't obey its master, or something like that. Familiars are mere Magus can summon, are of that level. Familiars are just familiars. They're only mascots that run errands for their master, so they cannot be being stronger than their masters. Servants are different. They are the most powerful beings. Well, not including certain things. Even for sorcerers, of which with 5 in the world, it would be probably impossible to form a contract with them. It's not that summoning them is hard, or even the ability to surpass that of the Magus. Servants themselves are beings above magic. Saber. Make it clear, servants are heroes from the past. Myth, legends, fables, history. Fiction or not, superhuman beings who gain concrete existence in folklore are what we call heroes. A hero becomes eternal people's minds, no longer human after their death, promoted to another form of existence. Humans who bring about miracles, save people, or achieve great deeds are called heroes even after their death. After being called such, they are promoted heroic spirits after their death and become guardians of humanity. It doesn't matter whether these people existed in reality or only in stories. These people's minds that create a hero. People's wishes that this is how things should be, give them form and set them up as real. Authenticity does not matter. They can have form so long as they have fame as a legend and people have faith. The ultimate ideal humans have created, the greatest human people have created. These are the heroes, the heroic spirits. And of course, since they are beyond human, they cannot be controlled by humans. A Magus usually borrows their power only to mimic them. They can't summon heroic spirits themselves. But the Holy Grail made that impossibility into a reality. It summons the heroic spirits beyond human control and turns them into a familiar, obedient to their master. That nonsense is proof the Holy Grail is almighty. And with the passing of years ignored, the heroic spirits are summoned. Most recent from 100 years ago, the oldest from the ancient days. 7 heroic spirits obey the 7 masters, protect them, and eliminate the master of their enemies. Heroes from every age and country are revived in the present day, kill each other for supremacy. That is why this ritual is called the Holy Grail War. But it seems like the Holy Grail War has its limits too. Actually, I think I'm going to turn down background music a little bit. And once we actually get into the voices, I will probably turn down Shiro's voice, so you're not going to hear Shiro, or you will hear him barely, and then basically everybody else will be lowered as well. Just so I have a more, so I can talk over Shiro with little problems, and I can talk with other people, but you can hear their voice a bit better. We'll see. Even the Holy Grail can indiscriminately call onto servant spirit beings. Just as a form invented by certain humans is required for the imaginary sixth element, known as the devil, to take form, the heroic spirits also need a form to live in this world. That form is the temporary name that exists in this world. Holy Grail has furnished classes so that the heroic spirit may take form more easily, and it would only summon the heroic spirits that match those classes. It's like a passport to present that sets up roles of familiar in advance. By allowing the summoned heroic spirits to take on that role, it helps the spirit take form. There are 7 masters chosen by the Holy Grail, but also 7 servants obeying those masters. There are 7 furnished classes: Knight of the Sword, Saber; Knight of the Lance, Lancer; Knight of the Bow, Archer; Mounted Soldier, Rider; Magus, Caster; Silent Killer, Assassin; and Mad Warrior, Berserker. Only these heroic spirits with these attributes can be summoned if they're present to obey the master, and becomes a servant. That is the servant system. A summoning in contract with a heroic spirit beyond human control to win the miracle beyond human grasp. The ultimate competition, held only on this ground, the one and only Holy Grail War. A loud crash. Short sword deflected Lancer's lance flies into Archer's hand. This is Lancer's technique. Straight thrust turns into a sweep Archer's wrist. With a blow, Archer could have avoided it, even if he had seen it coming. There is no effective way of parrying a lance with the sword. Strong rebuff only then a strong counterattack. A weak rebuff does not create any openings. The important effective battle between the sword and the lance is defeating an enemy when he is at the wrong range.
Manuke.
There is no hesitation in Lancer. His movement to push Archer back stops. He intends to end the match with a single instant. He stares firmly in the place of Lancer. Swordless Archer clash. In that instant, Lance touched left. Can't even be seen. Forehead, neck, and heart. 3 shots were launched, and with any fatal blow. But the flash is too fast to be repelled by the shining blade. In Archer's hand, the sword swing again. Sword like before, Chinese sword like a hatchet. The biggest difference is
二刀使いか
a pair of swords. As their match swords, mirror images of each other.
旧兵風情が剣士の真似事とはな
Lancer's lance flies. Finish Archer off with the lance faster and faster. Archer defends with a burning spear. Valkyrie glides. Nice. Say that you no, but he will only advance from now on. Ending sword orchestrate music. 2 steel flank clash against each other. Sparkling clashes, increasing rhythm for the hall. Battle of the 2 is back to back. Sucks in the air around them. Like anything pushing them to be cut. In reality, it only lasts an instant. You look at Lancer tries to not let Archer meet. Archer advances using his sword as a shield. Over 100 blows have been thrown. Archer loses a sword every time. But only for a moment, Archer has a sword in his hand. Next instant, watching Archer step back from the shot. Archer finally moves carefully. So even though he does not know who's the fly, he is a loser, he dismisses it as a mere bone. The distance widens. Probably to recover, Lancer with a large distance between them. His speed is extraordinary. Archer's charge was out of this world, but it was still slow compared to Lancer. The movement of his retreat had a panther-like speed and agility.
27。それだけ弾き飛ばしてもまだあるとはな。
Lancer mutters in irritation. It's more like confusion. I feel the same way. According to Father, a servant carries only one weapon. Their weapon is filled with magical energy, and it's not something that can be created at one after another, like Archer was just doing. Servants are heroes that supplement their spirits after death, equaling the hero's spirit. Put another way, they're like devils or angels. They are powerful familiars on their own. The most powerful weapon is the proof of heroes, a magical item called their Noble Phantasm. A Noble Phantasm is a weapon or armor that the servant is used. They were a hero. It's treated as a last resort. The Noble Phantasm is one and only weapon for a servant. This is because the Noble Phantasm is an ultimate weapon without equal. The lance Lancer is using will show its power as a Noble Phantasm when Archer deems it necessary. A Noble Phantasm is an impressive weapon by itself. The true ability is to release all of its power using its true name. Heroes' weapons which rule over all others, all of which killed dragons and gods. Servants activate their Noble Phantasm by using magical energy. Much like magic, servants recreate their destruction. Destructions in legend using the Noble Phantasm as a catalyst. Noble Phantasms are never disposable. Swords Archer's brought up has been excellent, but they cannot be his Noble Phantasm. He is the servant Archer, so the Noble Phantasm he conceals must be a bow.
どうしたランサー。様子見とは君らしくないな。先ほどの勢いはどこに行った。
ち、タヌキが減らず口を叩きやがるか。
Lancer's irritation is understandable. Even though Lancer fought as a spearman, Archer fended him off as a swordsman. Which means Archer hasn't shown any of his abilities yet. So it's natural for Archer to feel ghastly.
いいぜ、聞いてやるよ。二等使いの旧兵なぞ聞いたことが。
そういう君は分かりやすいな。僧兵には最速の英雄が選ばれるというが、君はその中でもえりすぐりだ。これほどの宗師は世界に3人といまい。加えて獣のごとき敏。
ほう、よく言った。
At that instant, his vast murderous intent makes me forget to breathe. Lancer's arm moves. This is different from before. It stands free from contempt. The spearhead is lowered as it strikes ground. Only his spear pierces Archer.
ならば食らうか。我が必殺の一撃を。
止めはしない。いずれ越えねばならぬ敵だ。
Lancer's body sinks down. At the same time, a chill like thorns fills the schoolyard. The air freezes. Not a metaphor, it literally freezes. All the mana in the air is frozen. The only person allowed to breathe here is the warrior called Lancer. The lance in Lancer's hand is unmistakably a demonic one. And now it is waiting to taking his true form in the moment it strikes.
まずい。
He'll be beaten. I don't know what kind of Noble Phantasm it is, but Archer will be beaten. It's implausible. First time I felt such an intuition, but there's no doubt about it. Archer will die when that lance is thrust. It is determined. Literally, Lancer's lance is the embodiment of inescapable death. Archer will be defeated. Archer will die when Lancer pierces his heart. And yet, even though I know what's going to happen, I can't even help it. Because if I move even a finger, that will trigger the attack. So if anything could stop the battle, the Archer's defeat, it would be...
誰だ。
It would be a chance appearance of a stranger we have all overlooked.
Huh?
The ghastly air coming from Lancer disappears. The sound of footsteps. And that figure is definitely wearing a school uniform.
生徒まだ学校に残ってたの？
そのようだな。お。
Archer says calmly. Well, we were certainly saved, but...
失敗した。ランさんに気を取られて周りの気配に気づかなかった。って
見てわからないか。手が空いたから休んでいる。
んなわけないでしょ。
さっきの人影を追ったよ。目撃者だからな。おそらく消しに行ったのだろう。
Oh yes, which I just realized.
追ってアーチャー。私もすぐに追いつ。
Archer goes after Lancer immediately.
くそ。
Curse my carelessness. The rule of magic limit any weaknesses, which is why, if one did want to do that, one would allow no witnesses. I've done till now. Why do I have to make the mistake of today of all days? A night where the moonlight is obscured, soon lying in the cold, horror-away floor, and Archer standing still. He is staring silently at the student. The smell hits my nose. The blood on the floor makes it clear it's the smell of death.
追ってアーチャー。ランサーはマスターのところに戻るはず。せめて相手の顔ぐらい把握し。
Archer goes after Lancer. Left alone with the student lying on the floor. I can't look straight at him, but I must. This is my fault. This is my fault. This is my fault. Ever since I was a child, ever since I became the successor of Tosaka, I've been preparing for something like this. There's no good or evil for Magi. I've always told myself this is the road only my blood, and the blood of others, so...
ランサーの槍で一月か。心臓やられてちゃ助から。
I don't know how long it's been since Lancer killed him. Is he lucky or unlucky to be pierced through the heart? If Lancer's attack isn't a simple external wound of the flow of blood, isn't too severe. It's not too severe, but it's all over. Brain doesn't get any more blood. No, basically, if his heart was pierced, he should have died instantly.
その割にはまだ死んでないってのはす。
Yes. Still breathing faintly, as if to give off his last stream. And that will only last a few more seconds. He can't heal his own wounds. I don't have enough power to save him either.
顔を見ないと。
I try to touch the head, facing the ground, and realize my fingertips won't move. They are trembling. I wonder why. I'm used to such things. I've had to make these kinds of choices many times before. I've lost many things due to mistakes and foolishness. That's why I'm ready for a day like this. So why am I so angry at myself?
ごめんね。見とる。
I control my trembling fingers and failing knees. I will. Look at the face of the student. A huge smacking sound. It really feels like I've been hit.
やめてよね。なんだってあんた。
I grit my teeth, not to suppress my trembling. I'm really pissed off. Why is it him? Why did it have to be him? I'm not mad at Lancer for killing a witness so quickly and perfectly, just as a servant should do. Just angry at him for staying at the place so late on this day. Sakura's face flashes in my mind. She will definitely cry. I recall a red-tinted day after school, a long time ago. Distant sunset. Someone was always running alone. A boring girl staring on at them from far away. Before me, the corpse of someone who happened to get involved. There is a way. I might fail and lose my last resort in the process, but there's still a way. No, I'll lose my last resort whether I succeed or fail, so the result for me won't change. It's a mistake. The fact is death is already determined. It's my fault for not noticing things around me. My fault. His fault for having unlucky staying too late. So I don't need to go back that far. This is what my father, who gave me nothing else, left just for me. A powerful chunk of magical energy, a reliable last resort to win through this battle. Precious, precious thing, just for me.
だからなんだってのよ、バカ。
I shake the feeling off and kneel. One become a corpse in another second. The pen in my hand becomes lighter. Father's memento, drained of emptiness, falls out onto used to be a dead body.
まあ、仕方ないか。
Well, yes, it can't be helped. I didn't have the power or skills to revive someone with a damaged heart, damaged blood vessels, and on the verge of brain death on top of that. why I have to make up for my lack of skill with this powerful object.
まだ息があるのが運の尽きだった。完全に死んでいたらどんなに魔力の蓄えがあっても蘇生なんてできなかったし。
But since he was still alive, I did what I could in upsetting his life.
失敗してたら目も当てられなかったけど成功したからいっか。ええ、正直に言えば充実感あるしね。
I'm just bluffing.
行こう。済んだことは済んだこと。こいつが目を覚ます前に帰らないと。
Yeah, there's no need for me to stay here any longer. Archer should be following Lancer, so I should go home by myself. On the way back, I remember. I left my pendant at the school, just a pendant. The magical energy be drained out.
もういい
Oh well.
か。
I have no use for that pendant. Sure, I'd have a bit of magical energy left in it, but surely less than 10 jewels I have. My father intended to leave me. For me, was enough magical energy to win the Holy Grail War. So now, without the magical energy, that thing is meaningless. I entered the house without saying anything, sit on the sofa. Archer isn't back yet. Sigh and clock.
いい加減頭を切り替えなくちゃ。あれだけの戦いを経験しておいて何を。
I jumped back and brew some tea. There are so many things to think about. Most importantly, the servants. This was when it's battle between servants I had previously only understood intellectually.
ランサーか。宝具を使われそうになった時は焦ったけど実際使ってたら。
The easiest way to beat an enemy servant is to learn their identity, ignoring for the moment the idiot who doesn't know his own identity. The biggest weak point of a servant is their true name. Discovering a servant's true name, in other words, figuring out their identity, should let you take a guess at a noble fan album they might have. Saying that since servants are heroic spirits, they have legend associated with them. If you figure out their legend, you should be able to figure out most of their abilities. Servants are called by their class names because they want to hide their true names. Because the most famous hero is, people know about their weapons and their weaknesses. A heroic spirit that becomes a servant never gives out their true name. The only ones servants' identities are their masters. There's even a tact to understanding that masters hide their servants' identities, trying to discover the identities of others. This is the fifth holy war. The qualities of the servants are determined by the ranks of the summoned heroic spirits. The saying, our famous heroes, with better weapons are stronger. It is difficult to summon such heroic spirits. To summon a heroic spirit, one must have a connection with them, such as a weapon they use in their lives. In the Magic Association, is found a few things. Generally, one will summon a heroic spirit that suits them, like I did. The servant's strength is determined by the rank of the heroic spirit, but it's not as simple as it, as even the most powerful heroic spirit may have a hard time depending on the class they have been assigned to. That's because the special abilities assigned to each class, the possibility of the weak defeating the strong. Different classes each have a different additional ability, one and has a chance of defeating an opponent of higher rank depending on one's ability affinity. Take example, Infamous Hero defeated a great hero 4 times in the past. As far as I know, the most powerful servant is Saber. In all the previous 4 wars, Saber has made it into the final fight. It is said that the 3 classes, Saber, Lancer, and Archer, have strong magical resistance. To put it simply, magic is pretty much useless against them. Because they are fighters who fought the Age of Mists, and magics were used widely. Magics that Magi now probably dissipate just by touching them. Anyways, that's why these 3 classes are considered the basics and the best. Another worthy mention is Servant Berserker. The rogue spirit summoned in this class loses their sanity, but as the name implies, they become a mad warrior puppet of their master. The benefit of this is a strengthening of their power, far exceeding the powers they had when alive. However, the more powerful a servant becomes, the greater the burden that it poses on their master. The vast master and Berserker couldn't control their rampaging servants, and destroy themselves by running out of magical energy. No exceptions. The winners and losers of the Holy Grail War are largely determined by the abilities of their servants. Well, I expect there are ways to win by the master's efforts, but basically it's a fight between the servants. That is why a master should be careful when summoning a servant. That's how I consider the place. Should make from now on. Clock fixed already. Strikes 11 while I do so, and Archer comes home.
おかえりなさい。成果はどう？
すまない。失敗した。よほど用心深いマスターだったのだろう。少なくとも、こちら側の町にはランサーのマスターはいなかった。
As I expected, Lancer was alone. It seems his master is not the type to show up for battles personally.
そう。まあ、簡単にはいかないわよね。
Yes, there's no way that everything will go as I might hope. So it can't be helped. Let's consider what happened tonight as a tuition fee for the lessons learned.
覇気がないな、マスター。いつもの威勢はどうした？まさか、先の一戦でおじけづいたというのはなしだぞ。
Archer protests silently that we should do so. I see. I guess I look depressed.
そんなわけないでしょ。私が打って出ないのはね、単に無駄手間をしたくないだけ。
ん？
だって、まだマスターの数が揃ってないでしょ。今夜のはやむなしだったけど、回線の。
そうか。君の父親も。
Archer nods, understand. Then, Archer makes a troubled face and starts to ponder something.
何よ。何か言いたいことでも。
ああ、一つ聞き忘れていた、リン。君は幼い頃からマスターになるべく育てられ、それに従ってきたのだろう。つまり、初めからマスターになることを予想していたわけだ。
当たり前じゃない。そりゃいきなりマスターに任命される魔術師もいるそうだけど、私は別よ。
そうだろう。なら、目的がとうにあるはずだ。私はそれを聞き忘れていた。主の望みを知らなければ、私も剣を預けられない。リン。それで、君の願いは何だ？
願い？そんなの別にないけど。
何？
Or just make you a funny face.
そんなはずはあるまい。聖杯とは願いを叶える万能の杯だ。マスターになるということは聖杯を手に入れるということだというのに、叶える願いがないとはどういうこと？
Archer's asking, a serious expression. Well, I see. Master's wish after obtaining the grail isn't irrelevant to the servant. But it's strange. Father said servants have wishes as well. Father said it is only their wish. I don't think Archer should be concerned because I don't have any wishes.
よし、明確な望みがないのであれば、漠然とした願いはどうだ？例えば、
なんで？世界なんてとっくに私のものじゃ。あのね、アーチャー。世界ってのはつまり自分を中心とした価値観でしょ？そんなものは生まれた時から私のものよ。そんな世界を支配しろって言うんなら、私はとっくに世界を支配している。
Archer looks at me with a troubled expression. I'm amazed. This guy's really hard-headed.
バカな。聖杯とは望みを叶える力。現実の世界を手にできる力だぞ。
だって世界征服もめんどくさいし、そんな無駄なことを願っても仕方がないでしょ。あなた
理解にく。
そこに戦いがあるからよ、はーちゃん。ついでにもらえるものはもらっておく。聖杯がなんだかは知らないけど、いずれ欲しいものができたら使えばいいだけでしょ。人間。
つまり君は。
ええ、ただ勝つために戦うの、はーちゃん。
Archer's shoulders slump. Maybe he's disappointed in my opinions, but it seems he's finally
参った。確かに君は私のマスターにふさわしい。
I find it hard to deal with that kind of comment. I wish he'd stop saying such things.
サーバントにマスターを選ぶ権利はないけど、一応聞いとく。
言うまでもない。君は間違いなく最強のマスターだ。使える相手としてこれ以上のものはない。
そう、ありがとう。
I look away because I'm embarrassed. I had to deal with Archer because he speaks frankly, even when he's so cynical. Well, I'm honestly happy they trust me. Trust Archer, and he trusts me. I don't think solidarity is a bad thing.
さて、ならば一息入れようか。7人目のマスターが現れるにせよ、それは今すぐというわけでも。
飾りってペンダントのこと？はあ、あれなら忘れてきちゃった。もう何の力もないもん。
それはそうだが、君がそう言うならいいが。
ええ、父さんの形見だけど、別に思い出悪いだけってわけじゃ。
よくはない。そこまで強くあることはないだろう。
So saying, Archer takes out the pendant I left at school.
拾いに行ってくれたんだ。
もう忘れるな。それはリンにしか似合わない。
As he is embarrassed, Archer looks away from the pendant.
そう。じゃあ、ありがとう。
I accept it. To be honest, I don't know if I should be embarrassed or cool about it. The pendant is as it was. As expected, there's no magical energy left in it. Empty of magical energy, but ordinary jewel. It doesn't hold any power. As Archer would put it, even if there's no power left in the pendant, it still has meaning as something Father specifically left for me. And maybe I helped that guy by sacrificing my trunk.
って待った。
Then clicks in my head. I wasn't thinking straight. I regret. Calmly, missed something. He saw us. It'd be too dangerous unless we adjust his memory. Basically, Lancer prioritized eliminating the witness battle with us. Lancer thinking problem matches his master's. So if a master finds such a guy, killed, didn't die, what would they do?
そんなやつ。
I get up from my sofa. It's been 3 hours since then. I might not make it, but for all I did, I have to make it on time. I ran through the night. Fortunately, I know where his house is. No, I didn't look it up. Instead, an acquaintance of mine goes there a lot, though I've never been there
ま
myself.
ったく余計な。
Archer has no interest in cooperating. It was against me saving the guy that was dying. Yeah, he's against me. Help him right now. It's midnight. Over the cloudy night sky, we reach the Japanese-style house. There's no sight of anyone in the house or the residential district. There aren't many houses around it. No one come help if someone else here. My breath is white. The wind starts to pick up. Not quite strong as clouds start to drift fast. It's supposedly warm wind in Fuyuki sends chills down my spine, making me tremble. Even if Fuyuki is considered warm, it's still cold on the hill. The air around here is frozen. Strain my ears, cold atmosphere. Closed feeling, it's not.
いる。さっきのサーバント。
I bite my lip. His presence is persistent. This side of the wall. Lancer's in the house already. Want to kill the guy again. But just come home without a clue what happened.
飛び越えて倒すしかない。その後のことはその時にか。
Just as I'm about to command Archer to go in. A bright light, the falling sun, comes from the house. Presence eclipses presence. The wave of power of Servant Lancer is consumed by an even larger wave. Instantaneous explosion. Ether. A spiritual being a body, summoned to overpower Lancer.
嘘。
I could only mutter, but it's true. To prove it, Lancer jumps off the wall and leaps away, fleeing from this place.
ねえ、アーチャー。
さあな。だがこれで7人。
I've lost my normal judgment. That's why I didn't even consider the obvious. Follow. The wind blows strongly. Clouds cover this umbrella. Unlit suburbs, closed by darkness. The servant jumps over the wall, coming down like a divine. Archers reacted already, but I couldn't react. That was my mistake. The battle ended with a small opening, not even lasting a second. It had been a second for me, but that serpent was an opening that couldn't be ignored. Rushes for me.
アーチャー。
Archer pushes me aside and the servant slashes him. Happened in an instant. Archer, who handled it beautifully, has been taken down with one blow.
アーチャー、消えて。
But I make it in this time. Just as the enemy servant cut off Archer's head with his blade, I forcibly remove him. The pain in my right hand must be an excessive command. So a command spell has disappeared from my hand. So there's only one. But this is for the best. Rather than having Archer die, I prefer to lose 1 or 2 command spells. We no consider.
なめるな
I take from my pocket a topaz spell, and I launch it. You contain without precision. This thing can blow away a house without trace. In spells I stocked up over time. It's one of the 10 jewels I've been putting my magical energy for 17 years without rest. Using all magical energy stored in it, so even if I can't defeat her, I'll slow her down a bit. No, not even that. It did nothing. Its roll of wind instantly tears it. Disappears a magic tree. Then touches the serpent. Strong magic resistance. Mere magical energy from Magus cannot hurt this serpent. So this is it. She can't be hurt by magic. I've lost my protection of Archer. We can't stop this serpent. Barely managed to avoid one blow. That's all. The night sky. This figure of cold-hearted death who was looking down at me as I lay miserably on the ground. The wind blows. And between the dark clouds of spiral sky, the moon shines. All I knew was my beautiful face. This is the servant who drove off Lancer. Defeated my archer in one strike. Held my magic with no trouble.
今の魔術は見事だったメイガス
The girl's voice is like a bell. Yes, this voice is it's like a nightmare right now. It's only natural. The more beautiful my enemy is, the more nightmare it is, as I cannot believe our difference in strength.
だが最後だアーチャーのマスター
The point of the sword shining brilliantly. The verge of death I understand. Just one look without proof. This is the card I wanted. The one said to be strongest of all servants, the hero of the sword. Faber. I look up at the moon accepting my death. There's no time for me to flee or plead for my life. I will die here in Rinto. Reen's holy grail will end the 3rd day. There is only disgrace and regret. I will probably vanish bearing a grudge against my enemy. But still, I don't feel anything. Something must be really wrong with me. I am going to be killed in an instant. I adore her again. That's right. You asked for regrets, that's it. But I guess it can't be helped. Because she's the most powerful servant. Because her figure is just so heartless, infinitely valiant, and so beautiful. And as such, oh, there we go. It was an opening. Welcome everyone to Fate Stay Night, Realtea Fate Route. Yeah, it just hasn't kicked in yet. I'm going to lower the volume for the voices. So some basic things. You may have noticed, this is the main menu. There's the extra setting. We can watch the prologue again if we wish. There's the gallery, which shows you specific little scenes. Some of these scenes actually, we did see that very briefly in the prologue. But there's quite a few images. We should be good. And basically, it shows you which route you're doing. If I was playing this on the Vita, it would actually have all 3 of these routes opened up, and you would have to pick which one you wanted to do. But if you go to another, it's just these are more like general images, things you will occasionally see every often, and they're more or less irrelevant to the actual overall story. Movie, I do have all. I have this is the This Illusion opening. This is This Illusion second opening, and this is the Realtea opening. I can't play them on stream because of, copyright issues, but they are relatively good, mostly songs rather than openings. These two were, I will say, probably not that good, but they were made in 2004, and they were made with a relatively limited budget, so impressive enough. This was done by Studio Dean, which were the same people that did the show. And I will say that it does look very nice. So, I will hit the start button in a little bit. I'm going to put up the do not, the other monitor, and we will get started as soon as I can. There we go. Fate is up and loaded. Let us press the start button. I am the bone of my sword, steel, fire. I've created over 1,000 blades, unknown to death, nor known to life. I have withstood pain to create many weapons. Yet those hands will never hold anything. So as I pray, unlimited blade works. When I came to, I was in a burning field. I guess there was a big fire. The familiar town had turned to ashes, and it looked like the remains of a battlefield from a movie. But then it didn't last long either. The fire had died down by the time the sun rose. The tall wall of flame had shortened, and the buildings had fallen. It felt strange. I am very hot right now, because of what I'm wearing. Okay. I might need to put it on again later, but for now, we should be good. I was the only one still alive around here. Must have been really lucky when my house was built in a very lucky spot. I don't know which was which, but the point I was the only one left alive. I felt that since I survived, I should live on. I started walking aimlessly, because I thought it would be dangerous just to stay here. But I wasn't really concerned about getting bumped up, like the people lying around me. Probably because, over and above, not wanting to be like them, I had a stronger feeling in my mind. But still, I had no hope. It was already a wonder I was still alive, but I couldn't expect to be safe. I won't survive. Whatever happens, I won't escape from this red world of death. It was such an absolute hell that even a small child could understand it. And I collapsed. Was it because of the no air? Was it because no friction was left in my body? Anyway, I collapsed and started up in the clouded sky. Everything around me was burned up. I could see many shriveled people. The dark clouds loomed overhead, telling me it would rain soon. That's good. The fire will put out once it rains. In the end, I sighed deeply, looked up at the sky, said to myself that it hurts. Say so on behalf of all people who couldn't even say so. That was 10 years ago. After that I was miraculously saved. My body survived. I think of all the things about me burned up and reduced to ashes. You take away the child's parents, home, and all such things, there's nothing left for him. That's why there was only my body. I think it's a simple story. In other words, in order to let my body live, my heart died. I'm dreaming. I screwed my eyes in wet light. So bright, I think. There's a light under my eyes as I woke up, but I'm not used to it. I probably didn't understand what bright light meant. Huh? My eyes focus. I'm surprised. I'm lying on a familiar bed, unfamiliar room. I'm surprised, but the room is so white and clean that I feel safe. Where am I? Look around. The room is big and there's many beds. A person is in each bed, and everyone seems to be hurt. Nothing feels ill in this room. Everyone who's hurt is someone who was saved. I relax and my eyes wander. Outside the window, the bright blue sky is unbelievably beautiful. After a few days, I finally understood. For the past few days, I could understand past you. Even so, there's no different from a newborn baby. Not just a metaphor. It was close to the truth. Anyway, it was a terrible fire. I had been saved from it, and was in a hospital with my body wrapped in bandages. My parents were gone. I didn't get the situation, but I vaguely understood that I was alone. I think I understood quickly. Well, it was nothing but children in similar situations around here. So all I could do was absorb the fact. And after that man came in, right when I was beginning to worry about what would happen to me next. He came up the day my bandages were taken off. I was able to eat without help. Wrinkled coat, uncombed hair. A man a bit younger than the doctor, but more like a big brother than a father.
こんにちは。君がシロー君だね。
Hello, you must be Shiro-kun. A smile seems to melt into the white sunlight. I think it was a suspicious voice, but a very kind voice.
率直に聞くけど、
I'll ask you directly, which would you
孤
prefer?
児院に預けられ
Go to
る
an orphanage or be adopted by this
初めて会った
man
おじ
you've
さん
never
に
been
引き取
seen
られる
before? That man saying he could adopt me. I asked him, a relative of mine, he just said he was a stranger. He looked like an unreliable guy with no future. But it made no difference, as I knew nothing about him. Either one, him or the orphanage. So I decided to go with
そ
him.
うか。
See,
よか
that's
った
good. Get ready then.
なら
You
早
should
く
get
身
used
支
to
度
the
を
new
済ませ
place
よ
as fast as you can. I quickly started packing up my stuff. His packing wasn't very good, even in the eyes of a child. Then, after making a big
う。おっ
mess,
と。
I forgot to mention something
はい、
important.
うちに来る前に
I have to tell you one thing
一つだ
before you
け
come with me. Is that okay?
うん。
He turns his said, yeah.
初めに言っておくとね、
Start with,
僕
I'm
は
a sorcerer. He said it in a serious, exaggerated tone. It happened to me in an instant. Come to think of it, I was really a child back then. I never could believe those words. Wow, you're awesome. I guess I said, the bright eyes. Since that time, I became his child. Actually, I don't remember that what I said back then. When my father would talk about that day, we remember and retell the story again and again. For my father, Emiya Kiritsuku, that might have been his happiest day of his life. So, I guess it was strange for my father to tell me that he was a sorcerer. But I guess I was strange, well, for admiring that. And thus became his adopted son. My last name became Emiya. Emiya Shua. I said my name, really proud of having the same last name as Kiritsuku. I'm dreaming. Story from my childhood. It was when I was convinced my father to make me his student. He must have been about around 8 years old. When I was old enough to stay at home by myself, Kiritsuku started to leave the house on a regular basis. He would say in his normal tone he would travel the world, and actually act on those words. That's how it was after that. It was normal for him to leave the house empty for a month. He would sometimes wouldn't come back home for half a year. Namiya house is a big Japanese-style house, and Kiritsuku and I were the only ones living there. I was perplexed in the house times, as it was too big for a child. But still, I liked my life here. Namiya Kiritsuku would come home from his journeys and tell lots of stories like a child. A child who shared his last name would be at home waiting for those stories. I was always alone in the house, but that loneliness would all fade with the stories he brought back. The father was always chasing his dreams, like a kid. His attitude was astounding, but he always seemed dazzling to me. That might be why I wanted to be like him someday. Well, on top of that, like the ever-dreaming father, I felt I'd become reliable myself. January 31st, Day 1. Fate Stay Night. Okay. As a note, I'm going to save over my prologue. This save will act as the beginning point for all the routes. Since all the routes up until day 2, well, actually, that have been day 3, are identical. I am basically going to do saves every so often during these streams, and that save will overwrite this save. I will use page 1 and likely page 2 for Fate Stay Night, for the Fate route. I will probably use 3, 4, and 5 for UBW, and 6, 7, and 8 for Heaven's Field. I will try to keep them as separate as possible, so we know. The one best part is that I can't load a save that's officially a part of the Fate route, or the Heaven's Field route, or the UBW route in one of the versions, in one of the other routes, so we don't have to worry about something breaking. This is just a quick warning. I probably won't clip this, but I will come back and say it maybe every so often if someone questions on how I'm doing saving. Just really quick. I'm saving here in just simply in case I'm going, like, I have issues going in. I shouldn't, because we have another 30-ish minutes of me reading. But we're probably not going to get incredibly far. I do have a few choices, but most of them are relatively minor, so it shouldn't be really that big a deal. I hear a sound. A heavy, old, rusty sound as the door opens. Light enters the dark shed. My mind's waking up. Senpai, are you awake? There's the cold air and approaching footsteps. Good morning, Sakura. Yes, good morning, Senpai. Sakura smiles and nods, accustomed to the situation. Senpai, it's morning already. You've got some more time. Fujimura-sensei will get mad if you stay asleep here. Oh, you're right. Thank you for coming to wake me. No problem at all. You're always up so early. I can really come and wake you up like this on occasion. Sakura seems more upbeat than usual today, as if she's happy about something. Good. I think you wake me up quite often. Though Fujine always hits me to wake me up, so I'd rather you wake me up. I'll try harder next time. I answer her with a sleepy head. I don't know what I'm saying with my mind not fully awake, but I'm happier when you don't try. Sakura is giggling. I guess my head is still dozing off. I said something weird. Give me a second, I'll wake up. Cold air. It helps in a situation like this. The chill works well to beat sleepiness out of my head. In front of me is Mato Sakura, a junior at my school. This place is a shed behind my house, and the time is 6 o'clock. Senpai? Yeah, I'm awake now, so I guess I did it again. I have to help you cook breakfast too. It's fine. You were up late last night, right? So you should be taking your time this morning. I'll get breakfast ready. Sakura says so in a happy tone. Unusual. Sakura really seems like to be in a good mood this morning. I can't let you do that. I'll get up right now, so let's get the kitchen together. Alright, I'm all set. Let's go sit. Senpai. That's something wrong? That's nothing, but I think you should change before going into the house. Oh. That's it. I looked down at myself and fell asleep while I was working, so I'm still wearing my overalls. Being in work clothes, they're pretty dirty. I can't imagine. Yeah. Let's say if I went to the house like this. I guess I'm no right. I'm proud of this morning. That could be. So you rest here for a bit, and I'll take care of breakfast. And you know, if you keep this place a mess, Fujimura-sensei will get mad at you. You're right. I'll go after I get you. Go on ahead. I'll be waiting, Senpai. Sakura leaves. Well, I have to change into my school uniform and clear up this mess. The shed is built on the edge of the yard, just as it seems is a warehouse where we put all junk in. It's a place treasures where I've joined messing things since I was a kid. Father didn't allow me to go into the shed, but I always sneaked in here. As a result, it became my base. For me, Emiyashiro, I guess we call the place my real room. The big Emiya household doesn't suit me, so I can relax in this place full of junk. Besides, it's a waste. Even if it's junk, you can still use it. Those things in here are appliances. They can't be used anymore. Did I bring all the junk in here because of the place, or did I come rid of all the junk? Anyway, once I was sneaking in here, it became my hobby to fix broken things. It's not like I get attached to things. I think it just annoys me to not use the things that can still be used. And just like that, I was fixing up this stove all last night. Guess I'll finish this tomorrow. It seems like I don't have enough concentration seeing how I fell asleep halfway. I got the feeling of disappointment in myself. I gathered up the parts of the stove and put them on the shelf, full of things waiting to be fixed. Some spaces of the shelf, things waiting for repair. An old VCR, bits on the stove. I guess I'll ignore the fact that Fujine broke both of them. Alright. I changed my uniform. This place is like my room. There are no holes, clothes, along with other things I need. It also has lots of blueprints and junks, the result of failures from when I do my training. There's some kind of old design inscribed on the floor, like an altar or something. Oh, let's get started. Today started. Clapping in my hands in prayer to the shed, I head for the house. I emerge from the shed. Near my house is a Japanese-style house on the outskirts of town. My father wasn't much respected person in town, but he somehow still had this huge house. That's on its own mystery, but it also seems like he didn't have really any relatives in Japan. That's why the house became mine and no one else's when my father died. So to be honest, I don't have that kind of management ability. Old man Fujimura is in charge of the complicated things here, the inheritance and property taxes. Old man Fujimura, big landlord in this neighborhood. According to the father, the old man's like a Yakuza boss. Of course, this is just prejudice. He's not like a Yakuza boss, he is a Yakuza boss. No, that's a problem in and of itself, but I prefer to ignore it. It certainly is true that he's energetic and scary, but he's actually not bad of a person. It really helps me as he pays a lot when I tune up the motorcycle he likes to ride. Anyway, that's why I'm the one living in this big house. It's been 5 years since father died. The days have passed quickly. I think much have grown in those 5 years. I've trained every day to be like Hiritsuku, but that's not easy in reality. It's natural because I don't have no talent to begin with. It can be said, having no improvement at all in 5 years. Whatever present sentence, my goal is so far away that I'm not even starting line yet. No, I guess I'm put time to rush. For now, I have to do what I can. Well then, right now I can either go help Sakura, or I'll go finish my daily routine. I am going to go finish my daily routine. Just for these beginning ones, because most of these choices don't have a lot of bearing. So I'm just going to use what I know is correct. Yumiyasa has a big dojo. It was built when the house was built. It was only intended as a hobby. Well, I'll warm up a bit before breakfast. I'm not really studying martial arts, but as my father told me, if you want to be like me, you have to train your body first. Became my daily routine to work out. And at 900, I finished my routine sit-ups and changed out of my gi into my uniform. I slept in this morning so I can cut short my workout. So some sit-ups without stretching should be good enough. I'm not the kind of build up a lot of muscle, but it's not like I want to get into a fight. All I need is athletic ability to handle sudden accidents and move as I wish when I have to. After all, the things I want to become is the complete opposite of an athlete. Oh, is this late already? About sweaty gi in the laundry basket. 6:20. In our house, even this is a late time for breakfast. Breakfast is already prepared. You can smell an elegant smell of breakfast befitting Sakura. Breakfast is ready, senpai. Thank you. Sorry for doing more work as left. It's a subject. Nah, it's no work at all. Besides, you didn't sleep in. This is early for you since you're not in any clubs. Clubs have nothing to do with it. When you bring clubs into it, you have to wake up early to come here and you have morning practice. No, I'm doing what I want to. Don't worry about my club. Yeah, you always say that. Well, that's why I wake up early. Clubs are not. It's rude for me to sleep in if you're... For me waking up early. He's waking up before Sakura gets here. And sleeping in is making Sakura prepare breakfast on her own, like today. Though this has only been a habit for a year and a half or so. You much weight on these things. Mizuzuri senpai always has your honest. It's annoying. Mizuzuri is the captain of our archery club Sakura is in. and someone I have a lot of acquaintance.
あいつまだ俺の文句を
Is she
桜にこぼ
complaining
し
to
てん
you
のか
about me?
はい。
Yes, she's working hard every day to beat you in archery before she graduates. Jeez, she must be better than me now. Is she well refined in memories? I don't mind people thinking highly of me. I guess it depends on who they are.
水釣り先輩
Izuzen hates losing, so she probably thinks of you as her rival. Sakura puts rice into a bowl as she talks. It's almost 6:30. The archery club's morning practice starts at 7. It's not mandatory, but she can't afford to take it easy.
藤根はそろそろ
Fujine,
かま
will you be here?
この
Will
時
be
間
here
に来
soon,
ない
I
方が
guess.
悪いんだし
Well, it's not her
さくら
fault for getting here
先
on
に食べて
time.
いいよ
Well, Sakura, let's go ahead and start eating.
そうですね
Yeah, here you go, senpai. Sakura hands me a bowl with a flat smile. Then, I'm used to this every morning. Her white fingers catch mine. How can I put this? It's trouble. She must be maturing. She's really feminine these days. Her casual moves are beautiful, and she often takes my breath away. Perhaps it's a reaction to not feeling anything for her until now. But I'm noticing more and more feminine characteristics in her.
先輩
Senpai, is something wrong?
いやどう
No,
もしてない
it's
ど
nothing.
うもしてないから
Don't worry,
気に
it's
しない
nothing. Deeply confused, honestly. Why am I feeling these sad things about my friend's sister? She's a good underclassman and a junior I need to take care of. First of all, the relationship between Mato and Sakura is just that of senpai and a junior. Big as. She's the sister of a close friend of mine, but since she's a grade below me, we weren't that close. It all changed a year and a half ago, into a cooperative kind of relationship. Sakura came to cook, was injured. After that, I think we just ended up like this. I think we intended until my injury healed. Some trivial thing came up just to make her want to stay with him. Anyway, Sakura is a good cook and perfect at cleaning and doing the laundry. She's a big help around here. But it's been a bit troubling recently. The problem is not Sakura, but me. Frankly, Sakura is beautiful. She's one of the best looking first years, and I'm sure a lot of guys who want to date her. On top of that, she's growing in certain places recently, and some of the casual gestures have started to catch my eye. You know what I mean. That's what I mean by a small problem. You're just feeling guilty about dragging my friend's sister. Usually I'm fine, but when I'm caught off guard just like now, I blush. This makes me a suitable senpai. Breakfast is placed on the table. Perfect breakfast consisting of chicken salad, cooked salmon, spinach, radish and carrot miso soup, and yam soup. I have had the cooked salmon, prepared in like the Japanese style. I have had chicken salad like that. I don't think I've had radish and carrot miso soup. I think I've had yam soup. So I do know this does taste very good.
いただきます
Sakura and I bow and start quiet quickly. Sounds of her chopsticks echo. Sakura isn't really a talkative type, nor versatile enough to talk while eating. Naturally, mealtimes are quiet. Usually it's louder, but today the loud person is she must have been watching spy movies last night as she's eyeing us hiding behind a newspaper.
藤村先生ご飯時に新聞
Fujimura
を
sensei,
見ない
don't you
方
think
が
you
いいと
shouldn't
思い
read
ます
the
が
newspaper during meals? Fujine ignores Sakura's question. She's acting weird. Fujine always acts suspicious in ways during breakfast. Yeah, I'm just checking. Sorry if that's loud. Sakura must be used to it as she continues to eat with no particular care. Sakura prefers to make Western foods. She learned to cook Japanese foods after she started coming here to help. Fujine and I preferred Japanese, so Sakura learned to make Japanese foods for our breakfast. Now she's so good that she almost surpassed me, our teacher. Salmon's especially good, as it's cooked to perfection. Her miso soup is tasty, and she has shown capacity for even making yam soup by grinding yams. Actually, I think this is the first time she's made it.
悪いさくら醤
Sorry,
油取って
Sakura, but can you pass me the soy sauce?
はい
Right, there you go. Wait, senpai. The soy sauce is
あ
empty.
じゃあ藤根のでいいや取って
藤村先生
Fujine nods. The newspaper trembles.
はいどうぞ
There you go.
とろろち
まあとろろには醤油だ
You
ろ
usually put the soy sauce in the white yam soup. Just stirring it. Put it on rice and take a bite. The thickness of the yam. This is terrible. It's oyster sauce. I'll throw it back up. Fujine throws her newspaper away. How's that? It was my plan to switch the labels earlier this morning. The female spy tosses up her arms to show her happiness. What are you thinking? You're always like this, even though you're turning 25 this year. Did I teach you? And for what you did yesterday? It's divine justice for Vic, and me with everyone else. Divine justice doesn't mean come from people. I thought you were calm. But what you were talking about? That's why. Right. That's why you have to go. So let's start braiding the sand right now. Yep, I should hurry. Fujine sits up. Finish your breakfast quickly. Thank you. Breakfast is lovely as always. Gotcha. Thank you. Let's see. I'm going out then. I'll get mad if you two are late. And she runs off. There's something wrong with the world. Wish that thing is a teacher. Senpai. Sorry about that. Fujine, just really take the time to enjoy your breakfast. No, it's not that. Did you do something about her yesterday? It's a bit too much for Fujimura Sensei to play with food. Well, yeah, I accidentally called her by her nickname. I guess it can't be helped in that case. You didn't apologize to her, did you, Senpai? Sorry, I forgot, since it happens all the time. You mustn't. Fujimura Sensei doesn't like you calling yourself Senpai. You're gonna make her cry again, didn't you? I made her run away, too. Yesterday's English lesson was a self-study because of it. And I was awarded the student honor, written on a notepaper, but I threw it away. Jeez, it was your fault then. Fujine is like a big sister for Sakura, so she's basically on Fujine's side. That's good in its own way, but I wish she'd consider my situation here, as I have to deal with Fujine 24/7. Fujine was originally an acquaintance of my father's, and she's been coming out of her house a lot since I was adopted. She started to show up even more after my father died, and she's almost now a dependent, eating breakfast and dinner here. No, maybe she's why I was able to make it my own even after my father died. Fujine Sakura, with him now the residents of the Emiya household. But I'm not the only one who knows my father with a Marcus. It's said that magi must hide their identities. That's why I've been hiding the fact I'm learning magic ever since became my father's student. I say I'm learning, but I can't even cast a single magic spell properly. With this kind of skill, it wouldn't make that much of a difference whether I hide it or not. But because it was how my father wanted things, I've trained secretly since then. Finish breakfast and prepare for school. I clean the dishes with Sakura while listening to news on TV. Sakura is staring at the TV screen. Over on the screen, it's exaggerated teletype reading gas leak accidents continue. It seems there was a big accident in the neighboring town of Shinto. It happened in the buildings in the business district. It seems a whole floor of people ran out of oxygen and fell unconscious. They've called it a gas leak, but this kind of accident's happening too often. Are you worried about the news, Sakura? No, not really. I just thought it was near. Senpai, your workplace is in the Shinto area, right? Yeah, it's not a very big place. I don't think would happen there. But it's not a risk I can completely ignore. Gas leaks can happen in any building, and on top of that, it hurts to think that hundreds of people are suffering. It's said that accidents are happening often because of defective construction work during the rapid development of Shinto. Whether that's true or not, I certainly don't want any more victims. It's dangerous. I'll be careful too. Oh, don't worry, Senpai. I take the gas twice every time. Sakura boasts with pride. No, that's not the point. Yeah, I thought so before, but Sakura is a bit off too. Senpai, did you lock the back door? I did. Bolted it. Is it home? I don't know. Then I'll lock the front door now. When will you be home today, Senpai? I think it'll be a little late, so you, Sakura. I'll be back at the usual time. I'll probably be here early, so I'll start getting dinner ready. Oh, that'll help. I'll try to come home early too. Lock the gate. Sakura and Fujine also have keys to my house, and the rule is that the last person out locks up, which is a very good rule to live by. Let's go. You won't make it to morning practice unless we hurry. Yes, let's hurry then. We walked down to town together. Passing the long wall, going downhill, we reach a residential district. My house is on the top of the hill, far away from the center of town. Going down the hill takes us to the residential district and beyond that. We reach the crossroads in the center of this town. From here, there are many roads, a big bridge, a neighboring city, a hill road that leads to Realtea Temple, the residential district on the other side of town, the shopping district Sakura and I always use, and the school, which we're headed to right now. We head to the school without stopping elsewhere. We don't talk much. We walk up the hill. Since it's still 7 o'clock, there are others on the road. Other than us, all you can see are a few others heading to their morning practices. Well, see, have fun at your club. I part with Sakura at the school gate like usual. Sakura is in the archery club, so we have to be part in the mornings. But today Sakura doesn't go. Sakura, you're not feeling well.
そういうことじゃなくて
Chum, would you like to come to the dojo?
いや別に
No,
道
I have
場
no
に
business
用
there.
はないぞ
Besides, Issa
それに今
asked
日
for me,
は
so I have to go to the
Issa
student council room today.
そうで
You
す
see,
よね
sorry for troubling you then. Sakura bows.
それじゃあ失礼し
I'll
ま
be
す
going now. Please look forward to dinner today. Sakura runs off, like she's ashamed of something. Wonder what that was all about.
Issa
Issa, you here?
いるぞ
I am.
今朝
A
は
bit
少し
late today, damn you. You must have been studying. As Issei looks up from the paper he's
一
reading.
世だけか
Just you, Issei?
他
Where
の
are the
連中は
others?
どうしたんだ
Shouldn't they be here now as well?
いやあいに
No,
くとうちの
unfortunately,
メン
members
バ
are
ーは
very
ビジネス
business-like.
働く時間帯はきっかり
They
決ま
have
っていて
they have
早
set
出と
their
残業
set
は
work
したく
hours,
ないのだそう
and
だ
they don't want to come in early or stay late.
それで生徒会長自らが雑用
So
か
that's why the student council president is doing
こ
the
こはこ
routine
こで
duties
大変そう
himself,
だ
huh?
な
I guess this place has its own problems.
何
No,
好きで
it's
してい
kind
る
of
苦労
trouble
だ
I like.
エ
You
ミヤ
don't
に
need
どう
to pity me. No, I wasn't pitying you or anything.
うんそれ
I'm
は
not
そ
happy
れで
about
無
it
念
either,
だが
but I'll pretend
聞
I
き
didn't
流
hear
すと
it.
しよ
Still means
Joe.
that you care. Issei is organizing the papers he was reading. He's the big boss in the student council room. He's the guy trying to form this like student council, and he's been a friend of mine since first year. His full name is Ryudo Issei. Despite his old-fashioned name, he has elegant features, and he's really popular with the girls. And he is also student council president, so you'd think he'd take to it like a duck to water, but
う、
hot tea is certainly a good way to start the morning. It's just sipping tea like this, so he's not that firm. So as you see, Issei has a plain personality. It's easily misunderstood, but he doesn't involve affairs nor engage in recreations, because he's the successor of Ryudo Temple up in the mountains. He's fine with that idea, so there's a good chance he'll shave his head when he
それ
graduates.
で今日は何をする
So
んだ
what am I doing today?
ああま
I'd
あ
like to
と
sit
もか
down
く
and take
座
a
っ
rest
て一
first,
服と言いた
but
い
I
のだ
guess we
が
don't have time.
時間がないな
I'll explain as we go,
移動がて
so
ら
bring
説
the
明
usual
をする
tools
ゆ
and
え
follow me.
率直に言うとな
Frankly, our school's
うちの
budget
学
is
校
completely
知
unbalanced.
ってる
I know the athletic clubs are favored,
ひいき
and
され
the
て
other
るもん
clubs
で
don't get much, right?
うん、
Yep.
結果
As a
文
result,
化系
members
の
of
部
the
員は
clubs are in
絶えず
trouble.
今年から文化系に予算
I'm
が行
working
くよう
hard to
尽
make the
力して
budget
い
go
る
to
のだ
them,
が
but I'm having
予
trouble
算の流れが不
not
鮮明
clear
で
where the money's
特
going.
に冬のスト
In
ーブ不足
particular,
に関して
there's
は
no
打
solution
開
for
策
shortages
が
of
待て
heaters
ない
during the winter.
そうか
I see.
Ah.
Can you hand me the
Minus
first screwdriver?
driver,
The big one.
一番
Back
大
of
きい
our
やつ
two.
な
Yeah, I should be able to fix this.
動線
Could I fuck?
What
Is this it? Sorry, I don't know
間
exactly.
違っていたら仕
Tell
方
me if I'm wrong.
当たってるからいいよ
You're
で
What?
ストーブ不足
Shortage of
が
heat.
どうしたって
Are there
ここ以外にも
other broken ones?
ある
Yes.
第二小学
The
室の
second
美
AG
術部
room
の
in the
暖房
art
器具
club.
が怪しそう
The
だ
petitions requesting
新
new
品購
stoves
入
are
願いの
multiplying.
けど予算にそんな余裕はない
There's not
と
enough budget. With the man, huh?
やっぱり
What I
劣化
thought.
してるだけ
It's
だ
just getting old.
な
Good
中
thing
がい
it's
かれ
not
てなくて
broken on
助
the
か
inside.
うん
You
Nauri
think you'd be fixed any?
治るよ
Yep.
こういう
In
時
cases like this,
古い
old
やつ
things are
は分かり
nice
やすく
because
ていい
they're easy to understand.
配線系のショートだか
It's just shorted
ら新しい
connection.
のに変えればとりあえず今
So it
年いっ
should
ぱいは
last
頑
the
張って
whole
くれ
year if we replace that.
そうか
They could have it.
いやおかしな日本語使
You're
う
working
ね
it. We are good. Efficient, so can you wait outside for a little bit? Alright, I'll be out of your way. Isai leaves the room quietly. Seems he assumes we're going to do something delicate. Well, it is delicate, but that's my hand no electric heater. Usually, if I'm used to fixing things, it's hard to figure out what's wrong just by looking at it. The fact that I figured it out, what I'm doing, is not ordinary. Block up my vision, look inside the heater with my sense of touch. In that moment, the image appears in my head. There are two places where the wires are about to break. The pipe should last a bit longer. Installation shape for the power cord. But I can fix the tools I have with me. The pipe were broken and couldn't be fixed by an amateur. If that was the case, I would have had to strengthen it in a very unamateurish way. But in this case, just looking at it will suffice. This is the magic Emiyashiro learned from Kiritsu. Alright, let's take the cover off, start to work. I already know where it's broken, so the rest is easy. This is the only thing I'm good at. That's right, Emiyashiro has no talent for magic. Though, it doesn't make up for it. I just think I'm still quite skilled at visualizing structures like I did just now. In fact, when I first figured out a structure and reproduced it, my father looked surprisingly and said, "What a useless ability." I guess my strong point isn't a useful ability. According to my father, it was already a waste of effort to perceive the structure with my eyes. For real magus, there's no need to understand every quarter of the structure like I just did. Then when a battle of magus comes to reading the center, the core of things instantaneously, and changing it faster than anyone else. That's why reading the structure is a waste of effort, and even if you do understand the structure, all you can do is determine whether magical energy could be used more effectively. So all in all, it turns out my strong point is just fixing things like this. I don't have to open them up to look for damage. I quickly search the broken parts. I have the skills to repair them. Most things can be fixed. Though that's only the case for simple things. They can be fixed with amateur knowledge. Okay, done. Next one. Back with the conductive wire to use. Go out to the hallway with a screwdriver and wrench in hand. The repairs are done, but in the hallway is someone else, from Issei, a girl. Now we actually get to see what the coat is wearing. I'm a bit surprised. The person talking to Issei is Rutosa Karin from Class 2A. She's a lady who lives in a big mansion, top of the hill, a perfect honor student. Good looking, smart, athletic, faultless. She's intelligent, well-mannered, modest for her looks. People say she's the ideal woman. Though it hardly needs to be said that the guys in school treat her like an idol. Though Tosaka's case, she's so perfect, she's considered unreachable. It's commonly believed that only teachers and guys like Issei can even talk to her. Well, to be honest, I'm a guy too. Though I'm Tosaka means admirers. Tosaka looks at him in a bad mood. It seems to be true that she and Issei don't get along. Sorry, I mean, thanks for help. Forgive me. Issei's an amazing man, talk like that and ignoring Tosaka. Don't worry about it. So wait next. Not much time left. The Avery will meet next. Seems like you're working badly for a while, but now it's finally dead. It can't be fixed if it's dead. But it'll be quicker to just buy a new one. True. But it'll be helpful if you look at it. It might be dead to my eyes, but it might be one of the Well, let's take a look. Only 30 minutes left until home. I'll have to hurry if I'm going to fix it. I start for the evening. That's impolite. Turn back to Tosaka Newsstand days. Get up early, Tosaka. I made an honest comment, then followed Issei. Barely made it, thank you. I caused you trouble again. Friend. Late. It's no big deal for me to be late. Though, I guess if we chose food. Indeed. Oh, I'm glad we did it. Issei heads off to his seat and leave. It's exactly 8 o'clock. The first one when the bells rung, and so he should be here in about 5-ish minutes. A bit of breath. We ran here from the AV room. Taking a deep breath, I head to my seat.
朝から騒がしい
They're
ね
so
ミア
noisy in the mornings and
部
I
活
was
をやめ
wondering
てから何をしてるかと思え
what
ば
they've been doing.
竜
Screaming
の
the clock.
太鼓
Are you Ryudo? It's not a concern. I don't do anything
う
bring
ち
the
の
club
評判
and
を
do
落と
this
すような
this
こと
week,
は
okay?
しないでよ
You're pretty uncommitted. Mato Shinji, a friend of mine in middle school, is standing in front of my seat. As you can tell from his last name, he's Sakura's brother, who's 1 year older than him.
よ弓道部は落
Is
ち
he
着いて
actually
るか
doing Shinji? Of
当
course.
然だろ
There's no point in telling an outsider.
部外者
It's
に
been
話してもし
peaceful
ょうが
ever
ないけ
since
ど
a certain attention hog
目立
left.
つたがり屋が一人減ったんで平和になっ
We'll do well.
そうか
Ah,
三つ
Mitsuri
釣りも
must be working hard.
はあ
You're talking
何
about
見
rubbish.
当違いなこと言ってんの
But she was doing it because of me.
弓道部が
You're
記
just
録を
imagining
伸ばしてる
everything.
のは僕がいるからに決まってるじゃんか
Like you didn't know it.
そうか
I see. I'll
気
be
をつ
careful.
けようもっとも
I won't have
弓道部に用は
be
ないから
concerned with the
関
archery
わる
club.
ことはないけどな
I don't read this. The bag on desk. Pull out the chair.
何それ
What about that?
僕の弓道部には興味
You're
が
saying
な
you're
い
not interested in
興
archery
味
club?
じゃなくて
I
用
said
だ
business, not interest.
部外者なんだから
It'd
お
be
いそれ
weird
と
to
道
go
場に
there.
行くのは
An
変だ
outsider,
け
right?
どなんか
I'd
あった
tell
ら
me
言って
if
くれ
something comes up.
手
I'll
伝え
help
る
if
こと
then
があ
you
った
can
ら
help
手伝
them.
う
You weren't good at fixing bows and bowstrings, right?
そう
Oh,
Thank
thanks.
you.
For calling you.
何かだなそん
I
な
don't
こと
think
はない
that.
それがいい
Yeah, that's good. You're not getting
雑用
material.
を残しているようなやつは
Look like
首相失格だからな
Don't give Fujimura Sensei too much trouble.
あんまり藤
She's
村先
scary
生を
when you
困
piss her off. Mind your own business. You're,
Okay,
that
no,
is okay.
sorry.
You're from the dojo. Shinji returns to his seat in usual manner. He seemed more irritated than usual today.
ふざけたやつ
Got a guy. A king
自
shot
分から
over
エ
the
ミ
east
ヤ
of him.
なんだ伊勢いたのか
Oh, we're here, you say.
なんだとはなんだ
What
気
do you
を利
mean?
かして
Of
聞き
course,
耳を
I'm
立て
your
ていた
friend.
友人に向かっ
Who's
て
listening out of concern?
なんで気を利かすのさ
Why would you do that? I'm not
俺
doing
一斉
anything
に心配
to make you worry about.
たわけ
Idiot, of course I'll worry about you. You're the sort of
エミヤは
you
カ
should
ッと
have a
なり
reason.
やすいからな真珠に殴り
Some
かか
people
れば
would cheer,
皆は喝采
cheer
を
if
送
you
る
could beat Shinji
が
up.
女どもか
But
ら
all the
非難
girls
と
would
嵐だ
condemn you.
友人をそんな微
It's
妙
not
な
good
立
to
場
have
に
a
置く
friend
のは
get
よろし
into
く
a
ない
situation like that.
そっか
I see.
言われてみればそうだ
You're right, now that you mention it. Thanks,
あり
Issa.
がとう伊勢
That, it'll be a problem.
そんなことにはならないだろうけ
I'm
ど
grateful for your concern.
今の心配はありがたい
Yes, now, as long as you understand, it's strange.
だが意外
You lose
だ
your temper easily.
エミヤ
But
は
you're
怒
telling
り
me
や
to
す
what?
な
Ah, that's
あれは
just
真珠の
you
味だ
get
から
used to it if you hang around with him long enough.
そんな
I
そ
see.
んなものです
Yeah, if you understand, go get
納得したら
Fujima's
席に戻れ
flying in here in a second. It's more likely to come floating in than flying in. Homeroom bell rings. A home teacher usually would come 5 minutes early, but our homeroom teacher isn't like that. For us, you see, homeroom starts 1 minute after the bell rings. Right when we hear. And Fujide runs into the classroom.
おーし間に合った
Warning everyone, bam. And it falls over to the terrible sound. The classroom is filled with silence. The contrast is clamor just a few seconds ago. A sudden change in atmosphere. The expression for Virginia, her nickname, the human jet coaster, isn't just for show. But that's supposed to really hit. Fujine is still on the ground, having hit her head on the platform. You can't see her expression in her head on the ground, so it gives you a bad mental image. Hey,
前の席の
front
やつ
that bro,
先
quick
生
her up. I don't want to. I'm scared she'll bite me like a
ミ
mimic.
ミックじゃあるまいし
She's not a mimic or anything. She won't go that
あ
far.
んたね
Hey, if you're
そう
saying
いうんだ
how
から
long you I'll pass. I'm not used to this.
私だって苦
We
手
might
よ
have.
大
Why
体
you
なん
did
で
you get
女
one
の
of
子
girls
に
to
やらせる
Gosh,
の
you do it. Roman's getting nervous. Rose, you can't tell the state of Shujine is. We can't tell. So we all stood up.
ちょっと先生動いて
But
ない
she's not moving if she has to. Someone asks. If so, the problem would be how to get her to the nurse's office. Everyone here is a warrior. This has been with Fujine for the past year. They probably want to get out of the habit of taking their teacher to the nervous
藤
office.
村先生
Are you alright? A brave female student calls out to her. Fujine doesn't even make a twitch. A sense of worry from the
ま
class.
ずいって今の転び方
She hit her head
こ
on the
う
platform.
頭から直角に教団
They've
に
been
突っ込んだじ
invincible.
ゃないか
Out of that with a scratch.
いっそのことをやめろよなそういう脅しは
No, you
タ
joke
イガ
about
ーが
that.
顧問になった日に
The
は
day she's in charge
俺
of
た
us,
ち甲子園に行っちまうぞ
we get regionals.
藤村先生藤村先
Yeah, it's still good to get
おい
moving.
お前目の前なんだから起こして
Why
や
don't
れ
you
よ
begin?
嫌だよ
No,
俺
wait, she's already dead. How we kill?
生だから
But things will go bad later if we leave it like that. No one wants to. I guess can't be helped. We'll have to do that. Yeah, that's about right. I'll hurt to be one. Well, not Shinji and I, because we're too scared. Even though everyone said at the same time, it's only as loud as a whisper. The tiger part is especially quiet. But still, a twitch. Oh, she moved. It's working. Right, continue the punishment. Everyone is distracted running exams. Even though shouldn't, they repeat Fujine's nickname, waving their arms. Wake up, tiger. It's morning. Sensei, you are a tiger if you don't wake up. Don't give up, tiger. Stand up, tiger. Yeah, wake up, sensei. Then you'll be the true tiger. 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 Don't call me tiger. A roar of lightning. She stands bravely. As if the fall has done nothing. What are you doing? You can't stand up in the middle of Come on, sit down. An orchestra. Fujine stands up before everyone in your usual manner. It seems all the memories of the moment she entered the classroom have fled her mind. We didn't. That's funny. Well, I don't know if you can call it lucky. Everyone returned to their seats chatting. Did someone just make fun of me? No, we didn't. Did you imagine it? Alright, good. Then I'll start homeroom, so listen up. Fujine starts homeroom slowly. She chats between announcements, so we don't get through it very fast. Everyone, please note the curfew. It's at 6 o'clock, but club activities shouldn't stay too late either. Message about 2 hours at the athletic club to be accepted. Nope. Gato-kun, please accept your teacher Fujimura-sensei. I'll get mad if you call me that again. Gato-kun says that now, showing no signs of listening to her. How stupid. Fujine gets mad when she says she will. It makes no difference that he's a student and she's a teacher. He doesn't realize that she just gave him a final warning. Well, then that's it for today's homework. Let's meet again in English class in third period. Lady's waving her hand. She's the teacher responsible for Class 2C, Fujimura Taiga. Her nickname is Tiger. You might doubt it, but it really is her nickname. People like calling her that since she has a name like Taiga, but Fujin herself hates the nickname. According to her, it's unfeminine. But she's the kind of person, so I think it's her own fault that she has an unfeminine nickname. We're starting class. Day 11. Bows. The teacher for the first period enters as Fujine exits. It's like this every morning. Fujine continues homeroom until the very last minute. And classes end like every other day. However, it has reached 2 hours of streaming. I'll be going for a little longer. I kind of want to get to the second choice for the day. Class and like every other day. There are many kinds of clubs. I go home. Once I stay in the classroom for no reason. Looks like I won't be any little categories. Sorry, Mia. Do you have time today? Well, I do have plans, but I like playing around. Well, the main reason I quit the archery club was because I wanted to prioritize work. It's already 5 years since Father died and decided to pay my living expenses. I work a lot. There are some jobs you just can't refuse. Today's example. The restocking inventory of work may come as any help is appreciated. But certainly not something I have to go to. Probably having people come because they want to party after work. There are 2 options. I knew there was one coming up, so we're good. I'm gonna save here. Actually, I'm actually going to cancel. I'm going to save here. And then before we finish, I am going to go well, it doesn't really matter too much. I will cover that next stream. I'll quickly go to it. It's one. Well, actually, no. We'll do it with UBW. We'll go back to that one. Basically, we'll go back to the choices which basically we didn't do. Even though there's other ways of doing it. You know, because there's other ways of doing it. We'll do it that way. And since that, yes, you see my background. No, you don't. And we shall end the stream. However, I am going to take a look really, really quick. There we go. We're going to see if anyone's streaming. Because if anyone is, I will watch them. Because, you know, nice thing to do. Well, more like we're going to put them on... put them into our good old best thing. Anyone streaming? Caro is streaming. They're doing Mega Man Mondays on a Thursday. On a Tuesday.